Hello students, Dr. Ford here. In this video, we will discuss the history of psychology. We will cover just 3 approaches to psychology that are no longer in use, so to speak. However, they are worth mentioning since they provided the foundation for the field of psychology and some of their elements remain in use. These approaches are structuralism, functionalism, and psychoanalytic theory. First off, structuralism. It was pioneered by Wilhelm Wundt, as shown here in this picture. It can be difficult to pronounce his name because in Germany, they pronounce the W with RV sound. So let's practice this together. Wilhelm Wundt. He is one of my favorite psychologists just because it's fun to say his name, I think, anyway. He was a German scientist who was the first person to be referred to as a psychologist. His famous book, entitled Principles of Physiological Psychology, was published in 1873. Wundt viewed psychology as a scientific study of conscious experience, and he believed that the goal of psychology was to identify components of consciousness and how those components combined to result in our conscious experience. Wundt used the term introspection. It was a process by which someone examines their own conscious experience as objectively as possible, making the human mind like any other aspect of nature that a scientist observed. One example of an introspection experiment is that he played a metronome, and as the participant listened to the machine go tick, 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 Wundt asked the participant to report how the sound made them feel and what thoughts were evoked. William James was another pioneer in the field of psychology. His work was called functionalism because he studied the function of conscious experience. For example, if James repeated the metronome experiment that we just spoke of, and a participant reported feeling annoyed by the metronome ticking sounds, James would want to know why. Moving along to psychoanalytic theory, this was pioneered by Sigmund Freud. It can also be difficult to pronounce his name. I just like to think of Freud rhymes with avoid. He studied the unconscious mind and behavior. Although most of his theories have been disproven, some elements remain, such as talk therapy, the importance of childhood experiences, and that people try to avoid unpleasant thoughts. Finally, you'll find in our textbook several sections about women and people of color who have made contributions to the field of psychology. To explore a bit more, check out this cool resource that I found on the APA's website. It is a timeline of women of color in psychology. You can scan this QR code or go directly to the website. Enjoy.